Hey everyone, let's get a microphone. G'day everyone, welcome along. Welcome to Steelhorse Station. Hope it is a good Thursday wherever you are in the world. John, I see you there. Great to have you. Thanks for joining me. We are off to Pallegney. Let's just see here. Probably, John, I think going to be a little bit quiet for at least the first hour, because I just noticed that Argsy must be back from Europe and is streaming, and I'm guessing his regular audience will have noticed that and will be jumping on to find out everything he's got to say about FarmCon. So to the extent any of them would have popped in here, that probably will limit that. Never mind, we have work to do. Oh, there's Mr. Haythornwaite, speaking of Europe and FarmCon. Welcome in, sir. Hope you had a good weekend last weekend. Now, as you can see, we're in at the end of October. I've commenced. Oh, you think he's actually streaming from FSGs? Interesting. I only just noticed, literally, as I finished dinner and sat down to fire up my own activities. Oh, that's great. Glad you had a good weekend. So we are harvesting here. We have, I was just looking, we've got a little bit, we're still not producing milk quite in the volume that we want. That makes a lot of sense then. Now, what was I going to say here? We have, well, we've got enough to keep producing things, so that's the main strategy. So we'll just keep the farm production bubbling away. Now, up at the dessert factory, I started a couple of things. As indeed did I, John. I saw Mark there. Looked like they were all having a little bit of a fun hanging out. So I've started making some meringue. We're a bit short of eggs, so we might, if got any egg, let's actually, that's probably a good first activity. Let's just go and check what the egg situation is. We have a ploughing contract, but I didn't take the equipment because it was one of those long, awkward ploughs. So we need a tractor. We'll tow the plough. What am I looking for here? A vehicle which has nothing in it. That's a good start. See what the egg situation is around here. So Mark, did you learn anything particularly surprising or useful in the Sunday sessions? I haven't seen or heard any summation of what was involved in those. Not a pretty sight as in no useful information, or what they did reveal didn't make things pretty. Ah. I was on completely the wrong wavelength there, Mark. But fair enough. As you can see, the cows here are doing quite nicely. We could cut this grass at some stage if we wanted to. And I think I can get... I don't know that it's necessarily a road, but I can probably... Oh, there's a post at the end, that's all. To stop people doing exactly what I was about to try. I did... one thing I didn't mention in my kind of comments on Monday, which mainly because it didn't occur to me until afterwards, but is the discussion around bigger maps. And it's been quite interesting. There's plenty of people talking all sorts of stuff, and I know everybody wants bigger maps, but it appeared from the little that I've been able to see, giants have been decidedly... Oh, that's the way I want to go. I wouldn't say evasive, but trying to avoid the discussion of bigger maps. Yeah, and to the extent that anyone quoted anything reliable, it was all about 2x will be the standard size. Now, it occurs to me that what it looks like they've done is increase the density of the 2x map in a number of different ways to support the features that they've implemented, not least of which, if I can't remember who's might have been FSG or Argsy, but I'm not sure. We're talking about the fact that the ground density has gone to, or maybe it was on the clip that I forget where I forget the source, but somebody talked about the fact that the graphics of density of textures and things has sort of gone from the number that jumps out is 1 meter down to 12.5 centimeters. Now, whilst that makes a lot of sense, so I can understand why it is that, what that suggests is that the concept of going, this really occurred to me in the context of how much work could be involved in creating 4x maps, is the effect of those sorts of changes on a 4x map will actually be 4 times as much. Dear, oh dear. 70% is documented. Well, their definition of a documented API and mine couldn't be further apart. You know, and documentation, 70% documentation shouldn't mean leaving 3 words out of every 10-word sentence. I get that there's a bunch of stuff that they don't want to reveal, but I just don't see the harm in trying to explain, because so interesting. I've been doing some more learning and analysis, trying to get enough understanding to pursue my next mod idea, which I've got more dead ends than... There is a hidden collision somewhere there. Whoa. Right about there would be my guess. What the hell is it? Not immediately apparent. Ah. It's such a good collision, it's completely invisible. Wonder what that was. There's no doubt the wheel was up on it. Oh well. Turn that off. But as I... There's something very weird going on up here. What is... An earth is occurring. What a bizarre set of symptoms. Oh, is that what it is? It is too. How odd. Yeah, but it's not a it's an unusual collision because it's not hitting everything. What did it hit there? It must be a ground collision. No? Yes? Okay, just another issue with this rumbler, which is a real shame because it suits what I want perfectly. You know, they're just... I haven't encountered that. I haven't driven it up this way, which makes sense, but I haven't encountered that issue before. Anyway, what was I saying? We now have some eggs in the... That was the building jumping out at me. Yes, it must have been. Now, we do have a play-own contract, was what I said before. I was looking at... We can't get chocolate until we buy the dairy at the front, and we can't buy the dairy at the front until we get 50 grand. So that's fine. We can leave that there. So that's why for the minute we'll just concentrate on sorbet, cream caramel and meringues. Now let's see. What round here have we got? So we have cream caramel, sorbet. Hasn't produced any meringues. Is that because it didn't make any or because I've done something wrong? There's every chance it could be either. Hasn't spawned any, but that's probably because the spawn area is full. Okay, that's fine. We'll solve that Later, you're stuck on the only post this side of Texas. I'm trying to figure out where you actually want to go. Down there. You are actually full, so let's... Are you going to come over and talk to me? Yes, you will. Let's move forward a bit. We can back up when he's done because he's going to hit the post otherwise. No, he's just going to drive straight into it. Anyway, what I was talking about before I got completely distracted with collisions and the like. Man, and now we're tangled on the post. Thank you. Right, try again. Would you stop it? Correct. For the direction you are pointing. No. Now where are you going? Everything's going swimmingly today. Right. What I was trying to say was that I think 4X maps in the new version of the game are going to be a lot more work. And use quite a lot more resource. Because that will be true for standard maps, and clearly they're putting their attention on optimizing the game for standard maps because that's important for console devices. But where the hell are you going? So I think it's going to be interesting to see what we actually get dealt, particularly as we get closer. And I sort of added that in, or add that information into my... Really? Now it's stuck behind the trailer I parked over there. The information that I was talking about on Monday night, where I think Giants are going to drip feed us farming related information about the new game, because I suspect they're still quite heavily developing the consequences of the changes that they've made to the engine. Now the extent of that is my speculation. That doesn't mean it's all bad or anything. It just means that under the covers there's potentially more significant changes than their announcements would give credit for, and as a result that's going to have lots of flow-on effects, and they're only a small company, and that's going to have consequences that take some time to resolve. So that's my tuppence worth until I see information to dilute that. Now, linking into what you were saying, Mark, about documentation. So what I've been trying to do, and it was kind of topical given that AI was a focus of what they did announce, and some changes / extensions, we really don't know what, to the AI engine. Mark may have slightly more information based on hearing conversation about it firsthand. But if I look at this map, for example, most in the definition of a texture, so any given triangle on the map that's painted, what am I doing here? Oh, is that right? Turning it on, turning that off. Ah, right. So every given area on the map, and I can't remember what the minimum footprint size is, but let's just assume it's a, for the purposes of the exercise, let's assume that it's the square you get when you want to paint something. Right, so that's looking like it's roughly a meter square. So every time you paint a texture, so if I say, well, I want to put this gravel down here and I paint it, then part of the attribute of that texture includes a value for the cost of an AI traveler to traverse that cube. And what I've observed looking at a bunch of different maps is, while that's generally understandably applied to base game maps, when you get into mod maps, it all bets are off, because it depends how diligent the maker of the texture has been in how they're applied. And so, for example, if you watch map making videos, they talk about, oh, you know, just paint, you know, paint your landscape in under all the fields with, you know, your dirt texture. Okay, that's fine. If the dirt, you don't see it because you put a field on the top and it looks how it looks. But if the dirt texture has an AI cost of 16, which is the highest number, then every time you try and use a worker from that field, it'll fail. It doesn't mean the worker can't work on the field, but if you try to send them somewhere, deliver something, they're not going to be able to resolve a path. Now, a less extreme sort of example is sometimes the textures people use to paint around their fields are like have the unknown effect of being like an invisible wall. And so I was trying to figure out an easy way, first of all, to understand what that looks like. Because there is something that's in the, as so far to me, undocumented part of the Giants engine called a cost map. And I would like to be able to crudely create one so that, for instance, you could hit a button like that and color shade it to denote, you know, some averaging. Well, probably a better example is something like this. So color shade it to denote the AI cost across the map, so you could see where your problem areas were, and then you could go in and paint a specific texture to improve the ability of the AI to traverse the map. So that's the concept that I'm going for. I am just struggling a bit at the minute to figure out how to bring it to life. Right, let's go and get another load of these. The Fent factory looked pretty cool, Mark. Or the facility that you were at. So figuring out which the actual cost associated with each texture is quite easy. I know how to do that. What's not so easy is to figure out for the current version of the map what is actually there. And that's why I just wanted a little utility to, in effect, paint me a picture that I could hit at any point in time. Because in the save game, it's not obvious how it does that. And there is something called a cost map, but it's in an undocumented data file. Cool. Okay, I will have a look and see if there's a way to make that do what I'm trying to do. Thank you. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to do that. We will now go and empty. I need the word that's sitting behind the little icon that comes up. Auto level using paint. Yes. I should be able to do that. Now, what was I thinking of doing? Oh, that was the next thing I wanted to do. So I talked about it the other day in the last stream when I was messing with the new oaks. This was the trailer I was talking about. And so what I'm going to do, let's just lease it for the hell of it. You can go and pick it up from the shop. I quite like it as a trailer. It looks pretty cool. Oh God, you're over here again. What are you doing in here? How on earth? You were going to the mill, for God's sake. How did the mill's route bring you here? I don't know. Everything's misbehaving. Let's get you past the entrance to the farm. See if this time I'll put you at the fields. You've not got wheat. What are you doing? Can't drive. Let's correct that at the same time. And if I hit the wrong button like I did, it buggers everything up. Sugar beet. Windmill field. Unload. Right. Now let's try. That's better. G'day Grant. How are you, sir? Welcome along. I'm guessing you either were or are still in Argsy's stream. Have you learnt anything useful? Is your exit point set to start or closest? That's a very good question, Mark. Field exit default. No, that's going to create a problem, but okay. That's going to create a different problem, I think. Right. What we were going to do, because we're just having trouble with me trying to think about 14 things at the same time and imagine something intelligent that I could actually say, and then not managing to do anything that looks remotely intelligent. Get rid of that. Let's go down to the yard where we've leased that bale trailer, and I want to see if I can recreate the issue I had on the oaks. If I can't, what it'll tell me is that it's a mod conflict that I've got on the list of files, and that I was premature in saying that I hadn't encountered one. If I can recreate it, then you'll know that this is a dodgy trailer. No, I haven't seen anything from Argsy or FSG since their Saturday afternoon stream, and so I didn't know if their subsequent conversations, or Mark's for that matter, had yielded anything interesting or useful. And where we're going to go is down to the bale store by the other sheep pen. Oh, actually, we've probably got a whole heap of straw bales on fields, have we? Yes, we have. We have. Man, traffic and all. That's one thing I learnt the other day, is you can actually change the traffic so that you own it. Not quite sure what you can do with it if you own it, but it allows for the fact that a particular farm owns the traffic. He's back. Oh, I hate that car. Why are you just sitting there? Oh, you came back with a full load. Good on you. That's why. I'm just having a joyous time at the moment. Not doing well at all. We'll finish this activity and then we'll go and figure out why I'm having such a hard time getting the unloader that was working perfectly when I set things up this afternoon actually work at the minute. Right. So this... this... Now, what have we got here? So if I turn the auto load on, control left shift R, right. Why are you not auto loading? Let's unfold sides. Right. So I got this far. Okay, there are two things that I'm observing that are different from when I tried this on the Oaks, which give me some confidence. The message, I'm actually getting the universal auto load prompts here, whereas I was only getting part of it on the Oaks. And let's just try and test. If I turn unloading side left, yes. So if I turn auto load off, now I should. View. That's interesting. Left shift I. So I reckon the problem that was having on that Oak. So I had mouse control for the load and unload the other day. And that was working to allow me to use the mouse to shift stuff, but it wasn't finishing the process. So if and I'm guessing that's in essence what my problem is. We could do it one more test, couldn't we? That's just what I'm thinking, Mark, is I probably didn't activate universal auto load. So let's just bear with me, folks. I just want to experiment with the hopeful intent that it doesn't cause a problem for any of you in the future. So if we go into there, go down. And yes, we have lots of mods. Let's turn you off and turn you off. Right, now we're back. Welcome along. If you've just joined us, we are being moderately... Now, why did you not... Because I gave you the wrong job, didn't I? Pick up and deliver. That will work better. Okay, well that'll be the problem I had the first time. Now, let's see here. He should be set to combine unload, yes. He should. We'll fix that in a minute. At least you'll come back to the field now. So that's interesting. Now I'm not getting any auto load options at all. Huh. Faults. So the sides fold. Maybe I leased one without auto load. Let's just cheat briefly because it feels like that sort of a day. Oh, actually, we could whip over there with this tractor. Thing was, we're contributing to the success of the lot. Bad design fault on this factory. Can't drive the tractors under the porch. Number of times I've got hooked on that veranda. Really? Right, this is looking more like the setup it had the other day. So I'm presuming that the selected work modes that are talked about here, I don't know if anyone in chat is familiar, you appear to have two options, ground and tray, and so I assume that's when you're loading to or from a raised platform or off the ground. Looks pretty good. That is good. You may be able to simply solve all my frustration. Press B to start AI. Okay, we'll do that when we get there. Our trailer has finally emptied. Crash counter +1. So B is auto load. Right, that gets them on. That looks promising. Would you mind moving your face so I can see the menu? Possibly. Like that? Oh, How about that? For a rank amateur, he actually has a button. Well, not so much a button as I did think about that in advance and defined a stream view without my camera in it. Why are you not? There we go. So now if I want to put them on the ground, I go back to transporting position and it shuts the side thingies. I've got mouse control for the bales. I can move them outside. But do you reckon I could get them? Now, if I hit O, it'll put them back on the trailer. Press Y. Okay, let's try them. Ah, that's what I didn't do. Didn't press Y twice in a row. That'll be the problem. I tried every button, but I was always doing it in combination with the mouse. Okay. Cool. That is the reason that I wanted to just demonstrate it to folks in case you get caught. I quite like this this trailer. I think it's does the job. It seems to ride pretty well. It's just if you get the bales locked on it, it's really frustrating. But I like the fact that the sides came down. Oops. And if I don't get too enthusiastic with my right mouse button, I don't create issues. So what we'll do, because we needed to pick these up anyway while we're here. Let's go and get the ones off the other trailer. Because another of the jobs we've got to do is prep this field to put some triticale in it. One of the things that attracted me to this was that I'm observing on maps where I've got lots of mods loaded, universal auto load gives me more problems than it solves. I just want my files back before we go to the shop. $9300 new. What are you? Don't you hate it when you do that? It just goes with my day, doesn't it, really? Why would you expect that the first one listed was the first one you purchased? Right. Okay. You can sit there. We've solved for that issue. And Mark has the instruction that I should have followed. You can... I just didn't read the chat. I did so well, I even managed to... thought for a minute I'd actually deleted the course. Right, let's go down and empty that. I can put my face back on now. I've been reading about how to learn now how to do some more, slightly more sophisticated things in OBS. Fancier transitions and those sorts of things. I was also trying to... G'day Dylan, welcome along sir. Hope you are well. We are on Pallegney. I was trying to figure out how to get chat to run as a line across the bottom of the screen so that it was easier for me to see it. And for anyone that didn't want to have the chat window open separately, but still follow it. This is not multiplayer, Dylan. So, no, but you're welcome to watch. If you want to play along, the link to the map is in the description. It is a terrific map. Let's get out of his way. He's going to hit the post again. Joyful. Let's go the other way. At least the harvester looks like it's been doing work. Right, you are. So how are we going at the sugar factory? Or rather the mill. Let's just make, so we got plenty of sugar beet racking up there. We do have some flour stored, which we can probably distribute. We've got some canola oil that we need to go and get. Is this the month for selling canola oil? Let's check Mark's Magic. December is the month we want to get rid of our canola oil. The reason we have canola oil is we did have a field of canola. And I don't know why he's turning around off the map down there, but there you go. Now, what was that setting that I had here? Yeah, default. The reason why behind start might be an issue is that the start point that I set was over next to the greenhouse. and so technically behind start was the vague direction that it was heading in. What are you waiting for? Oh, waiting for me to turn it on. That'd do it. Don't do that to me. Just going wonderfully today. Now we're getting some. Be full in a minute. Come on, move over. Not really that hard. Bit heavy. Oomphin' up the hill here though. Now we're at max weight. Okay. Now we need to change you to unload combine, take it to the mill. And hopefully now it might actually work properly. We can put $3,000 back to deal with our little aborted foray into the trailer before. We shall come back in due course and pick those up. Tractor actually belongs to the shop, so you can go to the shop. Right, and we got a bunch of those in the middle of the field. What we can do is grab our mulcher. We need another tractor. That's what we actually need. We're at got enough going on to be a 4-tractor operation. And we also need a truck that'll pull that anchor at some point. What did I do with... I left it right there. Why do I think I'm on the wrong side? Probably because I'm on the wrong side. There we go. What was the best bit of FarmCon for you, Mark? I suspect it involved meeting all the folks, but and driving the 724 might have been pretty interesting. One. Now you're mulched. let's just check before I go and do this where we're up to in the mulching department. Right, so you're mulched, you're not. 74 is basically nothing is mulched. That's all we needed to learn. So let's go and do 19 and 20. Yeah, cool. Yeah, getting people from all over the place, but with something that is a sort of a common interest is always a bit of fun. Hobnobbing with royalty. Farm sim royalty, anyway. Oh, let's try. Which way have I put it now? I'll put it on the ground. Put you down and then pick you up. That's better. Yeah, driving a 724 is not something your average IT worker does on a regular basis, I wouldn't have thought. Let's do this other field. No, that's true. I'm pretty sure I would have gone for the driving experience if it was available. I've always enjoyed driving stuff. Whatever stuff may be. Ah, good call. I may get to FarmCon sometime. It's a bit hard to justify a trip to Europe just to do that, so it's more likely to happen if we're there for another reason and FarmCon happens to be on. Yeah, I thought that might be your answer. The only thing that concerns me is as it gets bigger, the ability to have that same experience changes. When I say bigger, in terms of the community, because then the conference itself gets bigger and all sorts of things happen. I was already surprised that 3,500 people is fabulous for Giants. There's probably some, they're starting to get into a league where there's some limitations on where they can actually do it. But maybe that'll give them the confidence to I'd reckon it'd be an insurance thing, John. Last thing you want is a an unskilled visitor to the site creating a health and safety issue. And that too, Mark. Many things far more likely to go wrong in the when it's wet. Yeah, I saw them. I think Mr. Sealy Peace shot a bit of stuff outside and he sort of had them a bit in the background. That would have been really interesting. I was talking to a guy at a function last year who runs a big property in Western Victoria, and he pulled out his phone while we were chatting. I can't remember how we got onto the subject. He was telling me about what he did, and that sort of led to talking about farm sim and automation and those sort of things. Anyway, he pulled out his phone and he was able to show me where the various vehicles, and there was 3 or 4 currently were on his farm and what they were doing. There was a harvester running somewhere and a couple of tractors. You could switch to a feed from a camera in the cabin so he could see what his driver was doing. They weren't completely autonomous, but they were highly automated. And there were certain pieces that were capable of being fully autonomous, but he didn't tend to do that a lot yet. Particularly when he had lots of things, lots of interactions going on. We'll come back and do this one when the bales are off it. We'll go over and do our field over there. Oh, there's probably bales on it too, is there? Let's go and find out. spent a bit more time on the new oaks, so now I'm getting to the point where I just want to get on and play the farms I've set up. So hopefully we'll hear something from Farms in Briscoe in the next little while. I've got bales all over that one as well. So that was the reason why I wanted that bale truck. Okay, let's head back. Let's leave you there for the minute. You. He looks like he's full again. How can you be? I don't know. We're getting tons of this stuff, which is good. There's a millennial farmer clip in the last couple of weeks where he goes to like a proving ground or a test facility for John Deere, which is pretty interesting. He's got fully autonomous field work going on, but they're sort of training the AI to control the tractor in different conditions, which is pretty cool. What's happening over here? Manure is fine. What's happening on the contract front? Because if another hasn't, I don't want to take any of these contracts because they're all almost all vegetable crops. They're not worth getting the harvester out to go and get. Okay. We have we really need to finish doing that job we were doing before. So let's finish the experiment. But we'll pay for it properly this time. Okay, yes, base auto load. I like Michelin's. Yes, put those on. UK attacher, no. It'll get me into trouble if I change it because it did work like that. Color on this farm would be better if it was that color. We don't want to buy it, just want to lease it. Okay. Now, if we up over to here, so that's where the tractor is. Did it again. That's twice. Which field are we trying to go to? This one. There we go. Let's see. What did I need? Operating position was the correct command. One more. We had a couple roll off the field at the bottom. Didn't see those. Let's not destroy his crop if we can help it. We do have crop destruction switched off just at the moment because we discovered the other day that our sugar beet was failing. What is the police siren you keep hearing? Yes, exactly. Oh, you can hear a siren. Oh, is there a siren on this map? I can't hear one. There are no bales on there, which is good. Now we should be able to make some space. That's better. Only, so maybe there is a, I didn't hear it, so was it on the field I was just on? I'll put the map up in a minute and see if you can direct me. I haven't noticed it, so, and I've got the game sound in my headphones, so I can hear the tractor all right. Missed it. Welcome back. We missed you, Mark. Okay, so that one's... So there's all that. We were just on field... Well, we are currently on field 9. And field 20 is where we were. Unless there's a siren associated with the landscaper silo. Let's go and have a look. I can't think what it would be. I have encountered a map once that had like an air raid siren thingy on it, but I haven't seen or heard that for a long time. Oh, and the other thing I discovered, which I'll mention and I'll actually show it on Monday night. So there's a mod from Top Ace 88 Well, that's probably what it is, given we're in France. It's not a tsunami warning. So was it on here, Mark? I can't hear it. Oh, there it is. How weird. That was just a random emergency services vehicle triggered in the middle of the field. I wonder if he's just got like an ambient loop playing that's got it embedded. Interesting. Anyway, as I was saying, Top Ace 88 has an interesting mod that I came across the other day. It's got a weird name. It's basically extra foliage for Zelonka or something along those lines. Zelonka extra additional foliage types or something along those lines. Where are we? Let's go down in here. What's interesting about it, in the text for it, I mean, it does as advertised, so it adds additional foliage types in. What's interesting about it is the way it does it. Let's... Oh, worked. Whoops. I was just concentrating briefly there. So it's bizarre because it doesn't actually have any foliage stuff in it as a mod. I got it off Mod Hub, so it's not anything tricky or fancy. But what it seems to do is define and label the additional but otherwise unavailable foliage types that are on the map. And it says not to use it with other maps because it could cause conflicts, which is kind of, okay. It's sort of like giving a kid a box of matches and telling him not to light them. So I thought, I wonder. And as it happened, of course, on Monday night I was streaming on, well, we have been streaming on Silverrun. So I applied it to Silverrun, and lo and behold, in my landscaping menu, exactly, popped a whole bunch of additional bits of foliage that exist on the map, but weren't previously in the menu. So it gave me some ideas. I haven't quite managed to organize them yet, but I thought, that's quite intriguing. particularly as when I looked into it, you know, the XML is, it's basically got dummy stubs for i3D. It's literally got an i3D in there called dummy, with no shapes file, and a couple of unusual entries that I'd never seen before in a mod desk, but that are actually normally in a map XML file. And it works. And what was intriguing is obviously it works on a map that's actually locked. So I presume it would represent a mechanism that you could use on a map that was just a regular zipped mod, but if you didn't want to or have the skills to be messing around with the XML, it would allow you access. Now I promptly attempted to try it to get it to work for textures, and that doesn't work. Or at least I haven't been able to do that because it sort of fell into my textures foray. But nonetheless, it was quite an interesting discovery. Let's go over there. I missed again. What we'll do, we'll go out the back way and duck up the hill. That was all of them, wasn't it? No more bales hiding there. I can't remember if our field 71 had bales on it or not. I've got a sneaking suspicion that's where I had the canola. I could probably actually look, can't I? I haven't put anything else in it yet. Come back. Field 71, what were you? Yes, you were canola. Check, stop, check mark says, do I have any lonesome bales hiding around the place? Where are you? It's only 4 bales wherever they're hiding. They're probably in a river or something somewhere. But I was able to see on that other screen that canola was indeed. Yes. Yeah, that's how I've found them in the past. Canola was indeed the crop we had in the field last, which is just over straight up in front of us. But there is no. It's going to hit the bridge, isn't it? Yeah, okay, guys, you drive through. That's it. It's easier for everybody. We might have to, we might just finish fraction early today. There's one of the ones that's, oh, that's what they'll be. There's two there that are out, and there's one over there in that. That'll be the ones that are unaccounted for. We can pop these. Oops, I got to the edge of the screen. It's much easier when you know how, isn't it? Yes, there's a couple of them that are upside down. I don't know if there's some significance to that or not. Or if it's just one of those little quirky things that the map maker thought he'd put in. Let's just have a look at how our animals are tracking. Okay. They're just the household chooks. Cows are good. Plenty of stuff. We will spread some slurry on some fields in due course. This is the pasture that we bought, and we've got hay in there now and 1 billion litres of water. I have updated the, as you can see, the base food capacity of expanded pastures, so that all works a treat. Chickens, they've got a year's worth of grain, and the other chickens also, so that's all great. Let's check in. Take that back. What's happening over here? He's parked in the field, waiting to be unloaded. Oh, I think he's just given up, hooked on a fence. No, he's in a field that goodness only knows how you got into that field over there. There is a fence. No, you just parked. You can't get in line. Can't go back far enough to straighten up. That's your problem. We're about halfway through this field. We've got, what it demonstrates is we don't need quite this much sugar beet in future. Although the dessert factory does have the capacity to go through quite a considerable volume of sugar, so maybe it's a good thing. Right, get you out of the way. Not full. Well, it's pretty close to full. I think it's 18.5 is the max weight, so we'll send him. It'll work better. I've got a little bit of produce here. Couple of cakes, plenty of mustard. So let's, whoops, go up, and based on how that was misbehaving before, it's a really weird collision box on here because it's not providing any issue there. Miles an hour is probably a bit excessive. Weird that it's not misbehaving now. I wonder if universal auto load was the problem, because that's the only thing we've, you know, it's still got that really big box. Although one of them's gone. But we haven't had it, we didn't have an issue at all driving back. Admittedly, I took a different road, but you'd think something like the bridge here or would upset it. Very strange. Cheat on the roundabout. I don't use it consistently because, as I said, it's been causing issues. I like Lockie's stuff. I reckon it's clever. But when something gets to create more problems than it solves, or it interferes with things, then what I did was finding for a while, though that symptom has reduced, is it got in the way when you were putting when you had it installed. Even when you weren't trying to use it, you're just trying to lift something onto a trailer, it would interfere. Now we can't put, so let's go around here. Take you off there. Let's see how this goes. Don't think I've tried towing this little trailer, not so little trailer, with this. Agwas Tenuous Platform Trailer Pack. Let's see, do I have it? Is it a bale loader or a regular trailer pack? I may not have it. Maybe not. Let's have a look. Thank you for putting it in the chat for people that are interested. It is under bale loader. I'm just looking at what I happen to have here. Metal Tech. Got a lot of stuff. It wasn't under bale loader in my list, so I haven't got it. As I said, I quite like this one. When I saw it the other day, it kind of looked the part and felt the part. Given the front loader's out at the field mulching, we'll just load these little pallets. Right, whoops. Three across, okay, that works. Noisy chickens. What map are you playing at the moment, John? You did mention you were thinking of starting again. Well, not starting again, but opening back up. Now, is that going to let me? Yes, it will. How about that? At least part of my joystick connected. We've been making mustard here quite steadily. As you can see. A little bit of cheese there. We'll check the cheese price. I'm not worried because we're producing mustard fairly slowly. That's actually bread out there. Just sort of flog the cake. We're not. I hate it when I do that. Try to rush and make a boo-boo. Okay, at some point you just got to bite the bullet and... Oh, Deutschland, you told me that the other day. Moss Valley I'm not so familiar with. I've seen bits of it courtesy of Virtual Farmers series. I can understand if it looks like terrain you're familiar with. That makes perfect sense that you would enjoy playing there. here? Is that's cheese? So we could just pop the bread on. That would make sense. Right. Bit messy, but we're only going around the corner. Doesn't help that some of these pellets are quite small volumes. Come on, turn. Yeah, of course. Yeah, virtual farmer. That's correct. I like his stuff when he's a bit more consistent with his realism. He sort of gets, you know, every now and again he's playing with small gear and doing small things, and then he'll go and put, you know, 15,000 litres of something in a trailer that is only, oh, how did you fall off? So much for those straps. Whew. That's in a, you know, 2 cubic metre trailer sort of thing. Oh, that's the problem with this trailer. That darn hitch at the front doesn't disappear. Forgot about that. And so when you put weight on it, it bumps on the ground. But we're doing the job, getting rid of some stuff. Come on, get the rest of it. Better than a poke in the eye. What's that? 10 grand. Environmental score's not too bad. And there we go. There's the bread done. Well, we're blocked again. That's a good job done. What's happening over there? Let's run up and have a look. Expensive loaves, yes. Oh, good on you. It's a standoff. Never occurred to you for one of you to back up, would it? Well, that's not too bad. We're 2/3 of the way through this field. We've got another 20,000 litres on the way down. You don't need to be running. We got anything in storage? Oh, we've got some spelt. Let's turn spelt. Spelt is running. That's all right. Might as well finish the triticale. And in the sugar mill, we've got plenty of sugar now coming. That 150, so that'll be 75,000 litres of sugar. And change. And if we go up and have a look in our dessert factory, which is run out of milk, would be my guess. Not quite. What's it out of? It's not got enough sugar. That's kind of what I was trying to get at before, John, is I hope it will, and I'm sure some aspects of it will, but I actually think it's a lot better than most people experience, and that the shortcomings are that the key, some important aspects of the AI engine are not properly implemented or consistently implemented on maps. And without that information, the engine's got no chance of doing things properly. So that's kind of why I'm interested in understanding better how it works and then trying to figure out how you can bridge that, because I think all the improvements in the world won't help if the maps are deficient in key information. So we'll see. We'll learn more as we go along. He's full again. So several more tanks on here to go. I think we might leave it there today, folks. It's a couple of minutes early, I realise, but I've got a couple other things that I've got to take care of. Hope everybody has a good weekend. We will be back on Silver Run on Monday. And if I've heard from Pumps in Briscoe, I will give you the updates on when we might expect to see the new oaks. Until then, stay safe, everyone. Have fun. Oh, I have a great demand, you think? You saw. I didn't notice. Let's just have a look at that. Did you happen to know where? There it is. ISO straw wants cotton, of all things. Right. Not much help for us, but thank you for spotting it, John. Have a good weekend, everyone. See you next time. Thanks for watching.